I'm at the Russell-Cotes Art Gallery and Museum in Bournemouth, in England, where they're busy setting up an exhibition by the artist Lucy Kemp-Welch. Now, she was one of the leading British equestrian painters of the 20th century, and you may recognise her work from her illustrations of Anna Sewell's famous novel, Black Beauty. This is one of the illustrations from Black Beauty called Now Oster, Try Your Best. I thought it'd make a really interesting one to teach you how to draw. We're going to start off this illustration by drawing an oval shape just here on the left-hand side. This is going to be the horse's buttocks, so just follow what I'm doing. Just drawing a very rough oval shape in pencil, very, very lightly so that we can erase it afterwards. Now I'm going to be drawing another oval shape to the right-hand side of this one. It's going to be roughly the same size. It's not going to be the whole oval shape. I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do. Just like so. And if you notice, it's kind of like on a diagonal trajectory, so going diagonally downwards. Now we're going to be drawing the neck. This is going to be a triangle shape just here. So just a simple triangle shape, just coming out from here. And then another triangle shape for the head. It's going to come down here. Just like so, and then the little ear poking out here. We're then going to add the rider on top, so we're just going to add the torso, which is just here. The rider's tilting backwards because Black Oster is jumping. So here we go. So just a torso shape, just like this. Remember, these are just rough preparatory lines. Now for the head. So just a little head here. At the neck. And then the leg. Just coming down to about here. These are just rough shapes, as you can see. And then the arm. Remember, if I go too quickly, hit pause and rewind. There's no harm in going backwards or pausing the video just so that you can catch up. Everybody goes at a different speed, so please feel free to do that. Now for the lower part of the leg, so it's going to come downwards like so, and then the foot coming around like that. It's starting to take shape. We're then going to do the hind leg. So starting here where the two ovals meet, I'm going to be drawing a diagonal line. This goes to the left. There's then going to be another diagonal line that comes down to meet it to make another triangle shape here. We're then going to be drawing the cannon bone, or the lower back leg bone, if you like, and then the hoof just here. Now we're going to be doing the forelimb here. So I'm going to be drawing the upper part, and then another line, just like that, another kind of triangle shape, not really, but it sort of looks like a triangle shape. Like that, and then the lower part of the leg comes all the way down here to there, and then a little triangle for the hoof on the end, just like so. We're going to be drawing the other front leg, which comes out just where this line hits this oval shape, just here. Going to come out there, and then it tilts slightly, and then a little hoof there. So there we have our preparatory stage. So I'm switching to pen just so that you can see this better on camera, but please carry on in pencil. Okay, we're now going to be doing this gentleman's wonderful suit jacket. So let's start off just doing a suit jacket like this. I'm going to adopt a kind of sketchy style to do this because it is an illustration, and the original was actually a watercolour painting which I had the opportunity to view in real life, which always makes a difference to seeing something in reproduction, and the watercolour was painted so thickly it was really interesting. Okay, so here's the elbow, and just drawing sleeve. So try and keep your drawing as loose as you can. Just drawing. He's going to be holding the reins, so we'll add the reins in a second. Then going to add the shirt and the collar and everything else. And then the hair. The ear here. And the lower part of the face. Finish off doing the hair. Comes down here. Just drawing little dashes to show the hair. And then the back of the jacket, coming all the way down. And then the suit tails are flying in the air. So, Lucy Kemp-Welch was born in Bournemouth, and that's where I've come to live here. And she was born in 1869. And her younger sister, Edith, who was 15 months younger than her, they'd both go off to the New Forest, which is really close by. And they'd go and study the wildlife there, and they'd come back and they'd draw a lot from memory. So they had this wonderful, wonderful capability to draw things from memory. And that's actually a lot to do with training. You can train yourself to do that. So there's the suit tails. And now for the rest of the arm, the other arm poking out there. Then we'll carry on. So there's a saddle here. Drawing the trousers. So at about the age of 10, Lucy learned how to ride, and she became this amazing expert horsewoman. She just really, it was her passion. She loved drawing horses. I can totally relate to that, and I'm sure many of you can as well. Okay, so we're going to be drawing the riding boots now. So coming downwards. And this comes down, and then the stirrup. And then the heel of the riding boot. Just like so. I'm going to finish off the saddle. Comes down and round, and you can just see a little bit of it peeping out from here. So let's draw the horse. So this illustration is to illustrate chapter 24, where Black Beauty, or Black Auster, as he was known in this particular chapter, they had to ride after a runaway horse and her rider, which was Lady Anne. If you've read the book, you might recognize the passage. So just bring it in. And then we're going to be following this oval shape that we did before. So bring it round to about there. And then starting just underneath the tail, we're going to be drawing another curved line. That's going to come inwards just to here. We're then going to be drawing the hook just here, and then the cannon bone. You may like to check out my tutorial on the anatomy of horses' legs. In it, I'll describe how horses don't have any muscle from the knee and the hock downwards. So it's much slender down here than it is above it. So here we go, upwards. Loads of muscle. We're now going to do the hoof. You can see the underside of the horseshoe here. There we go. And the pastern just down there. We're now going to draw the other leg. The hind leg, which comes down, round behind this one, behind here, And then you can just make out the other horseshoe here. Like that. See it peeping round. And then back around here. Here we're going to be drawing the stomach area. And then there's the girth just here. Then the back of this leg, coming downwards, and then the front. There we go. I'm going to follow this up. Going to make the fetlock stand out a little bit more. So here we're going to be drawing the chest coming upwards, and then the neck. Going to be adding the other front leg, which comes in here. The other hoof. And then here the withers. And the ear that just comes around here. And then we're going to add the details. So that's the eye. Coming downwards and adding the nose, muzzle. I've got to add in a whole bunch of reins, but here where the eye is, add in the eyelashes, and then the forelock that's blowing in the wind, the other ear, and then the mane. Okay, now we've got to add the reins, so there's quite a few of them. And then the bridle. And then the ones poking out from the other side. Okay, so if you haven't gone over it in pen, go over it in pen and erase all the pencil marks. Okay, we're going to go and add some shading because I was doing it all freehand in pen, so there are evidently bits that I may want to change a little bit, but just add some shading here underneath the coat tails. Because we're only doing a monochrome version of this, it's going to not have quite as much depth as the watercolor version, but still we can try. We can add lots of shading. And there's a lot of shading on the saddle. And particularly underneath the saddle as well. So underneath the horse is where it's going to be darkest, so we're just going to add some shading. I've noticed that this bone is slightly protruding too far, so I'm just going to bring inwards, just like that. We're going to be adding shading, so that will thankfully cover it up. So you go around like this. And I'm using a technique called crossed hatching. So I'm going in one direction, and then I'm going to change direction and go in the opposite direction. I'm gradually going to build up more and more shadow. I'll keep going over it in different directions, and this will make it much darker underneath. Here's the girth. Adding more shadow here. Only in one direction, and underneath the saddle. So we're going to be drawing the shadow on the leg now. I'm drawing my strokes in the direction that the fur grows. I'm changing direction. If you've got this far, you've done so well. Thank you so much for showing up today. See it through to the end. The hardest part was starting it. You know, and don't be discouraged if it doesn't turn out how you want it the first time. Just keep on practicing. Drawing is all about practice. All about practice. Lucy Kemp-Welch just practiced and practiced all day long. That's what she did. Eventually she took over an art school, but she didn't enjoy it quite so much. She didn't enjoy teaching because it took her away from actually drawing and practicing her art. So that's how dedicated she was to practicing. So we're just going to keep on going over and over. So it was in 1910 that she was commissioned to produce a series of illustrations for the new edition of Anna Sewell's famous novel Black Beauty. And the model for Black Beauty was actually called Black Prince and belonged to her friend, General Baden-Powell, who founded the Scout movement. You might have heard of his name before. And Black Prince was a really unreliable horse, well, as a military horse, but he was a beautiful horse. And Lucy soon came to be able to ride him, and she used him as the model for most of the illustrations. Again, I'm following the direction of the fur here. I'm now revisiting the rider, as we've done quite a lot of tonal values on the horse and not so much on the rider, so it'll look all like one picture. We've got to do a little bit more, just lightly, because the rider isn't the main focus here. I'm now going to add a little bit of the background just to put it into context. So we're going to add the horizon here, show that he's jumping in the air. And this stone wall that he's jumping over. Lowering the belly a little bit. Now I'm just going to very loosely draw in some of the tonal values in the background. So while Lucy was still an art student, she painted a painting called Gypsy Drovers Taking Horses to a Fair, and that was selected for the Royal Academy in 1895. So she was obviously very talented ever since she was very young and still a student. And we're going to add some clouds. Moving in the background. Add a little bit more to this horizon. Not in too much detail. So here is our finished version of Lucy Kemp-Welch's illustration for Black Beauty. I really hope you've enjoyed drawing it today. And also, if you've enjoyed drawing horses, check out a whole playlist of horse drawings. You're going to love them. See you soon. Bye-bye.